Welcome to Marriage, Let's Talk, hosted by legendary worldwide marriage encounter leader, Father Rosy Rosebrough, featuring Catholic married couples from around the world who demonstrate healthy communication for building better marriages. And now, here's Father Rosy.
Hi, Father Rosy here. I'm glad you could join us today. This podcast is not talking about marriage. It is where we're going to share how to create a better marriage through communicating feelings in authentic ways. Here we are. They're coming.
If you don't mind, I do have a question here real quick, though.
Yes.
We talked to you a little bit about it ahead of time, but while our dialogue kind of focuses on the risk part, I didn't know if maybe like afterwards or whatever, we might even get a chance though to chat a little bit about the actual. There's such a gift on the other side of it as well, and just dialoguing just on the risk part, you don't get the other piece of it. So when we were reading through our talk, I was like, how do you draw both of these in?
Gotcha. We could do that. Yes.
So okay, because it's real important. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll read our letters. Wendi, would you like to start? Ladies first.
Sure. My love, Kevin, your most endearing quality today was leading on our difficult business call. I'm so glad you are good at strategy. When I risk to share my difficult feelings in dialogue with you, I still feel scared. I think thoughts like, maybe he won't understand or he will judge my feeling as wrong, which really boils down to, maybe Kevin will reject me. In reality, it is often hard for me to admit a difficult feeling I am having, so risking to share it is a really big deal still. To describe my scared would be like Augie in the movie Wonder, when he takes off his space helmet, revealing all of his scars on his face to the kids at school. It's like tasting a boiling sauce or soup. I think, did I let it cool down enough? Is this going to hurt me? Risking to trust in dialogue looks like covering your face at a scary moment, but looking between your fingers. My muscles, I feel, are tense. My breath is shallow and short. It would sound like the silence on a phone after you shared difficult news and you think, maybe the lines were disconnected. The message was not received. My intensity is an 8 on a 10-point scale. I love you. Thanks for being my safe place, even when I'm scared. Love, Wendi.
All right, this has happened recently. I've got to start wearing glasses now. So, my beloved Wendi, your most endearing quality today was your understanding when you let me sleep in this morning. When I risk to share, how do I feel when I risk to share my difficult feelings in dialogue? At first, I feel apprehension that almost turns to dread when you're about to read it. I know and trust that you love me, and this gives me courage to share. But I don't want the feeling to be misunderstood or possibly hurt you. But in order for our love to be authentic, I don't want to hide myself either. I think apprehension is still the best word though. To touch, it would feel hot, like lifting the lid off of a boiling pot. It would taste dry and metallic in my mouth. It would sound like silence in a movie just before something was about to happen. In nature, this would be a mouse that puts just its nose out to test and see if it's safe. This is similar to how we smell new food before tasting it, or how I would see if the milk has gone bad. So my intensity is also an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. I love you, Kevin.
Thank you.
I think it's funny. We actually have some similar descriptions in here on our feelings.
Yeah, boiling water, and what was the other one that was similar? Oh yeah. The
tasting of food. You're tasting
in the
your
silence.
food. In silence, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, our feelings are similar, but as I hear yours, I kind of feel like maybe mine would be more intense than an 8.
Does it seem a little more intense? I kind of thought
Yeah.
your intensity, you seem to have a more intensity in your
Yeah.
descriptions. So, why don't we just go ahead and dialogue on yours?
Sounds good.
So, okay, so in talking about this, so this kind of this scared feeling, this wouldn't be something like it's not like a jump scare to movie necessarily.
Right. No.
So, it's not that kind of scared, or like someone's coming after you or anything like that. Would it be more of like I'm trying to think better description? This kind of scared feeling. Um, is it kind of like the scared, like after something intense happens, like you're driving on the road and someone almost runs you off or something like that, and it's just kind of that heavy breathing and like it's past, but you're still like full of adrenaline.
It's almost like watching something happening, right? Like it's actually like before it happens. Like I've seen several traffic accidents recently and you like see it happening and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
Okay,
And thinking and preparing like how am I going to avoid it or can I avoid it? So I think it's kind of more of a preparation than it is an after the fact.
so is your mind kind of racing at this point a little bit? Because I would be like strategizing and racing, or like intense, like your muscles tighten up, like you're bracing for impact.
Definitely muscles tightening.
Okay,
Um Yeah, my mind probably is racing some,
hmm,
but maybe not quite as much like as that intensity of like
okay,
avoiding a traffic
sorry.
accident,
Okay,
right?
so
Like
still maybe traffic accident,
not
kind
quite.
of in the right direction.
No.
So more scared, and it's not worried about the children or something like that. Like someone's coming.
Yeah,
It's not.
not
It's not a. It's more
safety. There's not a like risky safe.
safe. Okay. So let's go back to some of your descriptions because you talked about like the fingers and like looking through your like scary movie, but then looking through your fingers to want to watch it. So is there a protective or like a needing to, I guess, a needing to shelter yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like kind of worried what is gonna happen after
Hmm.
this, right?
Yeah. So we both used like a hot pot and boiling. So
Right.
maybe okay. So there's try to focus on that similar feeling. But so like mine, it's kind of funny. It's like I'm trusting that if I just grab the knob on the top of this thing, even though it feels hot and my hands like telling me warning, 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 it's like sort of, but if I just hold on to that and move it quickly, I should be fine.
Yeah.
Is that getting kind of
Yeah,
closer
and
to the
for
idea?
me, it's like
Okay.
tasting that hot soup, like, okay, I've done the precautionary measures, right? Like
Okay.
I've used the spoon that is not on the fire. And I've blown on it so it's cooler. Am I really safe to try it now? Right. So like there's I like your word apprehension because you can trust, right? Like I know I can trust you, but like is this going to be the one time that I regret trusting, right? Is this going to be the like so I've done all of the precautionary things. I know you're trustworthy. I know you'll listen, right? We've
Hmm.
done this before. I've made this soup many a time, but did I really am I impatient with this and did I really let that soup cool off enough?
Okay. So thinking of that, and then how does the silence draw into that? Like mine is the silence before a movie before usually it ends up being like a jump scare or something kind of intense happening.
My silence is more like I guess I kept thinking about almost like I would see if you were in like the old days and the guy like the Morse code telegraph guy and he's
Yeah.
like, is there anybody on the other end? Like did the message get received? Like there's this silence of
Okay.
like are you still there? Did you hear what I was trying to say? Like it's kind of more of a are you there? Are you still there? Like all the cell phone commercials now. Like, did you hear me? Can you
Is
hear
there?
me now? Did you hear that?
Are you still waiting on the other side? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a shared experience, I kind of think about I think about your reaction on roller coasters when I try to think about kind of this apprehension of those two things. It's because I know you don't like the drops, and I know you don't, and of course that's one of my favorite parts, other than
Yeah.
going upside down. But and I remember the first couple times riding with you on a roller coaster, like everybody's hands up, and like, yeah, this is gonna be intense. And everybody's like screaming. You got quiet and very still, and just like you just kind of held on. You're like, I'm just gonna hopefully survive this. It's that kind of idea. Is that closer to, does that kind of match as well? It's like I remember that intense where everybody's this loud and intense, and you're just sort of just silent. Like, I'm just gonna hold on and get through this, and then I'll be okay after the first step.
Yeah.
Is that matching?
Yeah.
That's
it. You have it.
Hey, all right.
Good job.
Well, thank you both. An image just jumped out at me that you're talking, Wendi, that interesting that I never saw this before, but sometimes you'll take a meat and pound it a lot and roll it into a crumbs or some kind of it could be I guess something for to brown the subject or put cheese in it, to roll it up into a little thing. And that the thought struck me is that that's the way I see myself wrapped into a feeling.
Oh.
And so I'm scared inside. I'm the wrapped up part, but I'm not the meat, but I'm wrapped up. And the crumbs and the powder you use, or the breadcrumbs, or the cookie crunchy stuff, cornflakes. That, and so the scared part is I'm wrapped into the feeling. That feeling's not outside of me. The feeling's a part of me. I'm part of the feeling. Almost sudden, and I've never seen that before, but I've seen myself wrapped into that. And so we go together as a team. That makes sense?
Yeah,
We triggered this, all of a sudden going, that sounds like a rolled up piece of like a cannoli that's not, pasta, but a cannoli maybe before it's put into the oven. All that stuff, all the goodies, cheese and little meat and mint, all kind of stuff, and they roll it up, and then they put it in there. And maybe putting it in is be willing to be baked.
Yeah.
And then tasted, so yes, that was just something that's almost, and that's why even though how many times you share a difficult feeling to share, we always become a piece of we're wrapped up in that feeling, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that is, just a thought there. So
but it's kind of like if we allow ourselves to be baked, then we become something super delicious.
But we got to get there.
Yeah.
You got to let them turn the oven on.
Right. Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
That is true.
Laying on the countertop doesn't do anything. It's like you have to decide to be baked.
Yeah. That vulnerability is really is a key. That's a key. And I think for me, it even starts with being vulnerable with myself, of realizing like I'm feeling this way and I need to admit it to me. And then there's like and then there's the second step of like admitting it to Kevin and letting him see that part of me too. That is difficult for me to even it's difficult for me to feel. So
Do I remember. Write a second letter?
Yeah, you do. You could, because when he accepts that, right? When he says, "Oh yeah, I understand," and he melds it out, and he's, putting his own flavor in it to help to describe it. Then when he accepts it, that brings us so much closer. I can trust him with even more, right? I can trust him again. Like it builds that relationship to the point that, outside of dialogue, our relationship is more playful. We can laugh and joke, and I know that he sees all of me and he loves all of me, even the parts that maybe he doesn't prefer, the parts that I don't even prefer, right? That he'll accept the whole cannoli.
Chocolate chips and all, my dear.
Not a cantaloupe, but a cannoli. But what you were talking about earlier about wanting to share some of the topics that you would risk sharing in.
So some of the ones that we've really that we've risked on, I'm trying to think, is particularly on our weekend, we really kind of delved into some areas of our own. Um, I know for Wendi, I know at one point she was really having difficulty um, wanting like a lot of our dialogues that she always had a positive spin on everything. And so at one point we talked about it. We were like, hey, why don't we purposely do some where the only thing you can tell me is a negative. It's like you have to tell me something that's uncomfortable. And I'll do the same. And so that way we could actually sit down and like I guess in a planned safe space at the beginning, say, hey, we're gonna risk on this thing. We're gonna share a different part to, in a sense, it's, I don't know, it's kind of like a little bit of exposure therapy or something. It's to get used to being able to share whatever it is that we really, really need to, and to be able to peel things back. And so we would purposely, like our questions that we would have some nights were things that would elicit very intense feelings from us on purpose. It weren't necessarily about the kids or something like that, but we would pick different subjects that we knew one or the other one didn't like. Um, and what I loved in doing that is it was really neat, and it was really unifying for me with Wendi to be able to let her, in a sense, dump whatever it is she needs to dump, or to be able to express this feeling that she's afraid would do something to me, and to be able to just to let it happen, to hear it, and then rather than respond defensively, even though, and there were nights where sometimes it was about me specifically and things that I've done, but to be able to stop and look back and say, okay, we're talking about this feeling here for a second. She's not attacking me. We can deal with that at another time if if I need to change or whatever. But for her to be able to share something that's so difficult, and for me just to be able to accept it, to hold on to it, and to be able to offer her a gift of just trying to understand it rather than trying to do anything else with it. Problem solving comes at another time. It's just for me afterwards, being able to offer that to her and then encouraging me to do the same with her. There's just this, I think there's this wonderful gift inside of our marriage that we didn't realize was available to us, and we got to find, and we got to be able to use and to kind of lean on. It's just, it really is a wonderful feeling. It was, like I said, it was very unifying between us. It intensified my love for her so much more. I didn't know there were more depths, but there are a lot more. So there.
You want to share anything, Wendi, before?
No, I think he put it well. Yeah, understanding how we can just grow in our marriage, and it's kind of like, yeah, the next level on a game, right? Of learning each other. And when he accepts my feeling, and then I can share another one, or I can then in turn listen to him when he has something difficult to share, and give that same acceptance back. It helps in all the areas of our marriage.
I heard many years ago that the 4 hardest topics to share are sex, death, God, and possessions. Possessions are objects as well as money. And sex is how we express ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we withdraw ourselves, how we put ourselves in intimate moments. And sometimes we're nervous, sometimes we're upset, sometimes we're scared, sometimes we don't feel good about ourselves, self-image. And how do we work through that with somebody's expectations? Or I can't make somebody seem satisfied. All those issues are, there's medical issues that interfere with our sexual life and intimacy. Those areas are, and anything else about God, and praying, praying with somebody else, or you have better words than I do, and all of a sudden all this stuff piles on. And every time I remember being challenged that couples need to take those topics at risk, and to open that up to not just for yourselves, but for the sake of intimacy that you share on the weekend, or to share, you could encourage other people to take the risk that you're talking about, the feelings. But those areas have never changed because they're part of a relationship and marriage. It's like going priesthood. an old priesthood understanding of sexuality and chastity and so forth. Those are hot topics for us that never change. And so all we have this to me is that when the deeper the vulnerability, the deeper the intimacy and the greater the joy, which
Yeah.
is you're alluding to already. So gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very well put.
Anything else that you want to share about those or anything else that comes to mind?
No?
Nope, I think that really nails it.
Yeah, I think you definitely nailed it right at the end there.
I'm sure with 5 girls and one and mama with just your testosterone speaking for itself. Just when I remember you, the opening session, you talked about there's a lot of drama.
Yeah, there's a lot of words. There's a lot of words.
That word is pregnant with meaning and ongoing and sagas that some never stop. They just continue the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Well,
Know each other so well. I'm so grateful for the guests we had today who shared willingly themselves in their dialogue. And thank you for joining us. I look forward to the next episode when I join you again once more.
This has been Marriage, Let's Talk, sponsored by Worldwide Marriage Encounter, the foremost faith-inspired marriage enrichment organization in the world, providing married couples with transformative experiences through couples retreats, small groups, and more. Learn to nurture love in your marriage at wwme.org. Marriage, Let's Talk is a production of Mater Media, the apostolate that offers the Celebrate Catholic Marriage experience to energize and fortify married couples through parish events and the 7-step journey to joy. Find out more at matermedia.org.